Testing, testing. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Make sure that this is working. Hello, hello. Okay, yeah, this is working. Okay, today I'm going to solve my final for PLC class, our cookie process. So let me go to our main function box right here, and let me do this pretty fast. Going to do online. So I'm going to solve for each point. There you go. Perfect. So for our function box, I have our main one. I have all the separate ones for each section of each problem. We have our start function, the dye dispenser cutter, the rack conveyor, oven, the cooling conveyor, the cookie plate, and the cookie package. So I'm going to go online. Close this. Okay. Going to do a warm reset. Yes. Okay, perfect. And now I'm going to close all these ones. Perfect. So if we start with our start stop, we can see here that is like our normal start stops. Our resets, I wasn't really sure about these, so I just leave it like that. But this is where it will be. So it will be functional. If we press twice the stop button, same time the stop will pass the system. So if I go to our dot dispenser, uh, we have different things. So again, our normal running system, where we have our the reset of it, as it was mentioned in the problem. Then we have the dispenser, the cutter, and all that. Pretty simple ladder logic. Oh, sorry. There you go. Another thing that I forgot to mention for our stop, it will be required for us to add one stop in each of these ones, just for the thing for it to be running, and in case that we need to for a full system to stop, be added, and then for reset will be the same. The reset push button will be input for those that are needed. I just wanted to mention it as is theoretical. And here we can see how it's getting that those numbers from here. Same time, how there was really no like for me a way to kind of like figure out how to connect the number of batches to that, but like this would mean like in the case that needed, what I did is I just put a one before, kind of had to remove it for the system to run without error, but it will just say like connected here and saying like if this is this with this, when we got to that point, then is when we will be done. So it will stop. As I said, I wasn't able to figure out how to connect the variable that's already 16 to this function block right here. That's why I wasn't able. I put a one as a test and it worked perfect. When it got to that first batch, it stopped it. But it wasn't the real number. Then we have the right conveyor press. Uh, Same pretty easy stuff. Those two need to be added as mentioned. But it's pretty easy. The oven, um, same thing. The oven is made so when we get some when we run it for first time, it will run, and then they run the process, it will run the rest of the processes. At the same time, we have our decorator conveyor, where we have our timers, um, which each of them can be seen how it has a proximity. At the same time, it needs to be true, whatever, depending on the color. I didn't get to what you did in your video example because I was able to use the cookie type and add the number because it's the raw input of this value, as you can see right there. Okay, so while we do this, I'm going to start the system pretty fast so the oven starts warming up. And I haven't been able to make this smaller. So as you can see, I'm going to start it pretty fast. Well, I guess we can do, there you go. One, and we can change those here in a minute. So everything will start running. Well, everything. The oven will start running. And while the oven is heating up, as we can see somewhere in here, the oven temperature is 100 and something right there. We can keep going. So this one is pretty simple. And then the cookie plate, pretty simple as well. Every time it takes the limit, it runs and it cancels everything. And then the cookie package is just saying like, a if you have more than 12, then you need to replace it, else the box replace is false. That really, this else statement is not really needed, but I just added right there. Okay, so this is running. Another thing, once I change all the values, everything is not really visible for like the items counts here, 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 or even here. I'm not sure what that's the case, but that's what has happened. But see how it's looking. We are in 205. So it's getting there. Again, the set point has been changed to 150, as you can see here. As you can see in here, 150. And it only has been changed once. It has been changed twice. It's only once because this one is connected directly to that one. So now everything starts working. All the rest of the systems, supposedly. Oh, and I think for this one is not working because we got to our limit. Yes. Just because this one is open. As you can see in here, which is in here. Okay, so I'm going to change the number. So I'm going to stop the process pretty fast. I'm going to stop this. So that's what I was mentioning before. So instead of doing that, we will have another one that will be, well, it will tell us if we have accomplished it or not. So I'm going to start, but I'm going to start with the online. Okay, if we can do something here. No, okay, yeah. So there you go. Okay, so as you can see, everything starts running back. Again, the stop didn't work in that case because it hasn't been added to the other ones. But because as they already call, that's how it would be added. Same thing with the reset. If we will press another stop and then stop, then it will be do it. So you can see it's detecting here. This goes down. Once it detects the switch limit, it goes all the way up. Cookies are in the oven. As you can see, they are being detected, but they're not being counted. So they're going through the oven. Once they go through the oven, some point, we will have them here. They're cooking slowly. There you go. So you can see that because we are red, stands the red one. And once we get the cookie, this dispenses right there. And we can see how the cookie box is being added. So let's see if we get to 12. Supposedly, well, we just saw that it wasn't working. Okay, so it's not getting the count from the cookie counter. So this would be the same thing. We're getting maybe an error. There you go. But our process is still working. Maybe another good thing is when we have a process error, it will be connected to the stop. So it will stop. But yeah, that so how this is planned out is that the count, and I'm going to go offline. Um, is the cookie is getting from this one. That's supposed to be the count for this. There you go. From this one right here for this counter. The only solution I could see is to create a counter that every time this one is activated or this one is activated, meaning it will count toward this through maybe like one counter that just like goes like this, and once that counter goes to 12, then it resets, and that reset may be activated to the replace of the box. But because we already, as the same thing, we have this value, as I mentioned before, we have the total cookie like has been processed. I didn't find it needed, and this is what I try to do. Maybe it makes sense. So in count supposed to be 12, one count is actually not over. It will be equals 12. Then then yeah, once it's equal 12, then it will replace the box. But because we are not really getting that count, I'm not really sure how that will work. But just for the variable situation, excuse me, but not because the cookies the code is incorrect. That was my point. I hope this makes sense. This was everything. I hope this is good. Get some Christmas cookies. Uh, Try to approach it as much as we could from the last things that we have learned, but it was more similar to the first things that we were learning in class. I really like these kind of exercises where uh, we can apply it to real situations and real like places and stuff like that. I think that's a pretty cool to see. So thank you so much for putting all this together. I hope you have a good Christmas, and I will see you next year. Well, next year, next semester. Have a good Christmas. Bye.